Welcome everybody to the spring edition of the Schellman Lightning Round, where we talk about something new and or trending in the world of AI, compliance, or security. Today we're going to talk about the HITRUST security assessment, and I'm Danny Manimbo, principal and leader of the ISO and AI services here at Schellman, and I'm joined once again by Jerrad Bartczak, Senior Associate on our AI team. Jerrad, are you ready to get into it?
Oh yeah, very excited to get right into it.
Very good. Well, let's start off. We'll try to keep this to about 3 minutes or less and go through a few questions on the HITRUST security assessment. So let's start off on what it is. What can you define the HITRUST AI security assessment for us?
So the HITRUST AI security assessment is up to 44 additional requirements that can be added on to an existing R2, I1, or E1 assessment for those familiar with HITRUST. And it is ultimately a way for organizations to certify their AI systems. So there are really two aspects to it. Number one, the organization chooses, to conduct that R2, I1, or
Mhm.
E1, whichever is best for their organization. And then number two is that AI security assessment portion. And in order to get this, all organizations must do is select a factor when they are scoping their assessment and purchase an additional report credit, and then they'll be on their way.
Very good. And how is this scoped and tailored to a specific organization?
Yeah. So in the scoping questionnaire that HITRUST goes through, there are ultimately three questions for the AI portion. Number one being what type of model is being used by the organization. So they break that down into three different models: the rule-based model, a non-generative machine learning model, and number three is a generative AI model, which we see a lot of the time. And then the following two questions after that are: was covered or confidential information used to train, tune, or enhance that model?
Okay.
And then the third one being, is the model confidential to the organization, or did they use an open source model?
Okay.
And ultimately, based on all those questions at the answer, you can see anywhere from 27 to 44 requirements added on, based on that combination of answers.
Very good. So that's scoping, and then does that have a downstream impact into the scoring on the assessment itself?
Oh yeah, so to gain certification,
Hmm.
scoring wise, the the question all organizations ask, what do I need to pass, right?
That's
That's
right.
always the big one on mind. So the score is ultimately an average of all the AI requirements across all the domains.
Okay.
So just those up to 44 additional requirements that you see, those are averaged out and ultimately must be an 83% for an AI one,
Okay.
which is when you combine with an I1 or E1.
Yeah.
So it meets an 83. Goes down to a 62 for an R2 because there's a little bit more that goes into an R2. So 62% is the passing mark for an R2 there, which, differs a little bit from the normal HITRUST process. Normally HITRUST is you have to pass all domains individually. This is more of just, AI broken down just to those requirements, pass as a whole, not individual domains.
Sure. And there is another high trust AI assessment option, the risk management assessment. Can you
Yep.
tell us how does that differ from the security assessment?
Yeah, for sure. And I'll keep this one short and sweet here. So the AI risk management assessment that can be a standalone assessment,
Okay.
is a standard 51 requirements. So there's no tailoring or anything like that. It's just
Okay.
a flat out 51 requirements. And you in the end you do not get a certification. You just get a report based on where you stand. So it's a good
I
baseline for
see.
things.
Okay.
Whereas the AI security assessment is that up to 44 additional, you receive a certification at the end, and ultimately, can't be a standalone assessment, has to be combined with
Very
with a
good.
full assessment.
Okay. Makes good sense. And you knew I was going to ask you this. I mean, how does this all interplay with 42,001? I know we've done some analysis and mapping on our side.
So taking a look at all the 44 potential requirements that you could have in the HITRUST assessment, there are 12 that are directly mapped to
Mhm.
42,001. So that's creating some good overlap between the two
Okay.
frameworks there. Um, It should be noted that, for some of the high trust requirements, it may not cover all aspects of
Right.
some 42,001 requirements,
So
but
there's
definitely
caveats with
good.
mapping.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
definitely a good starting point though to a lot of the same topics moving in the same direction. So there might
sure.
just be some final tweaks there if you do decide to go into 42,001. But yeah, like you said, we have a complete mapping of those two frameworks in the written portion of the blog. So feel free to check that out if you want some more details.
Very good. Well, appreciate you joining us. As Jerrad mentioned, check out the blog for more details and feel free to reach out to Jerrad for more information on anything we talked about today. Thanks, everybody, and thanks, Jerrad, for joining.